now it's time for some quality. It's time for the stats preview by Sundaram coming up right here. And there's some fun ones right here. And if you can see the video as well, he's also donning a Ferrari t-shirt. He's also joining along with the trend. You know what to do, guys. It's a third reminder. Predict now. Let's go for it.
All right, it's time to talk speed because we're going to be doing the stats preview of the Italian Grand Prix. Now, the first ever Italian Grand Prix was held back in 1921, and this weekend we're going to be celebrating 100 years since that first event. Now, I don't know if there are any celebrations in store on Sunday or through the weekend, but we should definitely keep an eye out for that. The Italian Grand Prix and the British Grand Prix are the only two events that have hosted a Formula One race every year since the sport first came into being in 1950. And the Monza circuit has hosted the most Formula One races, of any other circuit, 70 over the course of all these decades. And only once did Monza not host the Italian Grand Prix, which is back in 1980. That year, the event was shifted to Imola for that season because Monza was undergoing a major upgrade in terms of renovation. Now, Monza being a very historic circuit, we've seen several iconic and memorable moments over the course of all these years. In 1956, Peter Collins, who was a championship contender, willingly gave away his car to his rival and teammate, Juan Manuel Fangio, so that he could just go away and win the title because his car broke down during the course of the race. Something that's very strange. You wouldn't expect you to do that for your rival, but Peter Collins did that, and Fangio did win the championship that year. And Collins was later heard saying that I'm too young to be the world champion, and I really believe that Fangio deserves to win it. Unfortunately, Collins never won the championship in his career after that. So yeah, it's a very, very strange story, that one. And in 1971, we witnessed the shortest ever winning margin in Formula One history, a record that still stands 50 years later. Peter Getens won that race ahead of Ronnie Peterson by a margin of just 0.01 seconds. And the top five were separated by just 600ths of a second at the finish line. In 1999, you would have seen Mika Häkkinen sobbing by the side of the track because he crashed out from the lead of the race. Or you would certainly remember Sebastian Vettel winning the 2008 race, driving a Toro Rosso to become the youngest ever race winner in Formula One at the time. Very interestingly, Ferrari, as an engine supplier, have won just one race for a team other than Scuderia Ferrari, and that was Toro Rosso in 2008. So yeah, that was very interesting one when I pulled this out. Now let's talk about this weekend then. Lewis Hamilton could break a couple of records this weekend. First of all, the record for the most fastest laps at any one circuit. He is tied with Michael Schumacher for 7 fastest laps at one circuit. Hamilton has done it at Monza. Schumacher has done it at Barcelona. And this weekend, he could take his 8th fastest lap at this very circuit. And we already know about his century of wins that is looming since several races, and the Tifosi would obviously not want him to do it at this particular venue, but that's also on the cards. And Lewis Hamilton has currently accumulated 3,999.5 points, and he just needs half a point to get past the 4,000 points mark, and that's very much possible this weekend. All right, lastly, we have to talk about Max Verstappen and Red Bull. Max Verstappen has never finished higher than 5th at the Italian Grand Prix, and Red Bull has not won this race since 2013. Now, but going by their form and how they have been breaking all sorts of records and all sorts of patterns this year, it's very much possible that we could hear the Austrian anthem at the end of the race on Sunday. Well, that was the stats preview of the Italian Grand Prix. I'm really craving some pizza right now, so I'll catch you guys for the Russian Grand Prix.
This guy, really, what can I say? There's a reason why he calls himself F1 Stats Guru. And it's not just he who calls himself F1 Stats Guru. I think all of us do as well right now. Just insane. But all